but it just crashed. So that's what happened there to the last stream. But I'm stream happy, so I'm gonna keep going until I'm called upstairs or whatever. But that was a dope stream. We had a lot of people in there. On the last one, you'll be able to recap that. We talked a lot of cool stuff on that stream. So if you're watching this one, make sure to go check that one out if you want some good football content and discussion. Um, but yeah, I'm really loving what's going on this year. What I wanted to see from Seattle this year was kind of everything that is occurring outside of the defense. But you're gonna have lumps, and you're gonna take lumps when you're a young team like this, because um, you haven't quite got all the personnel is one thing, but the young and good players you draft, it just takes some time to find their way. You know what I mean? But watching these last games, I've been watching a lot of these games. Doing this channel, I've been watching more intently this season than I ever have in terms of replays of games, watching more games, staying up late night trying to like hone in so I really know what I'm trying to know what I'm talking about for the channel. And what's good? What's good, Cameron? The last YouTube just crashed. They sent me a little note that said it crashed. They said YouTube has crashed. You can report this to YouTube. So that's all that happened there. The stream was good. YouTube crashed. They said. Um, I'm just looking at these games that I've been watching like over and over again. I've seen the Atlanta game a couple times. I haven't watched the Denver game that much. I couldn't bear watching the Niners game that much because I can't stand the Niners, but I should watch it again. But I said this year doing this channel, I've always been this serious about football. But I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it more and more. So all that happened was the stream crashed because Facebook said it crashed. So they sent me a little pop up that said, "I'm sorry, Facebook crashed." So that's what it is. Um, yeah, watching them over and over, all I can really say about it is that we have a slew of young talent, and we've got some vets that are kind of on their way out. You know what I mean, and that's what it is, changing your team up. But when you got your quarterback and your marquee defensive player, you are starting over again. And Pete and John have done a great job of not making this a full like rebuild thing where we're an embarrassing team. As much as we have our lumps, because we're spoiled as Seahawks fans, right? We've had an awesome, like, the last 10, 11 years have just been remarkable. Like, not a lot of teams in history have gone on runs like that. So we expect to just be crazy right away, and I expect that, and I respect that. But there's going to be bruises along the way. All we've got to do is, like, hone in on the talent that we do have and make sure that um, they're being brought up the right way with the right kind of compass for the sport. And I trust in Carroll for that, even if he's not the long-term coach. We'll see if Desai is the long-term answer, though. But coaching, that's another topic we never really talk about there. Like, who do you think the successor is? You know what I mean? Is it Sean Desai? Was Sean Desai brought in to be the successor? It's very interesting. Look at their history. I mean, Sean Desai is dope. Like, I like the idea of Sean Desai, but does he have the swag that Carroll does? Wes, do you watch nostalgia games also from time to time? Yeah, bro. I watch them all. Like, I watch lots of the nostalgia games, even old school games. This is for everyone. Like the stream and subscribe and turn on post notes. Hey, thanks, Cam. I appreciate the support there, man. That's what it is. But it's growing quickly. Like this whole channel, it's getting crazy. The more you put out there. But I don't want this to be about like me. This channel, I want it to be about like literally the Seahawks, the fans, and what we stand for. Like what makes us unique. Like I want to broadcast that. I want to be able to broadcast what makes the Seattle Seahawks like the coolest and most unique American sports franchise. Period. That's what I'm trying to do. I got the chat up here on my computer, so I'm gonna start dropping bombs. So Yannick Perez Verti, very cool name. Imagine if the defense turns around, Gino keeps keeps at this phase, and he gets the MVP this year. Russell will never be confident again. I don't know if that would only shake Russell Wilson. That would probably shake every NFL coach, player, analysis fan. If Gino wins MVP, like the world will like collapse probably. Um, Cameron Ashcroft up in here again says it's all about consistency, Wes. That's gonna make all the Seahawks fans come to your channel and be sick. This guy is cool and he likes the Seahawks. Let me give him a yeah, exactly. You just gotta be yourself. Hey, good night, my brother. Good night, Cam. You've always been an awesome person here, and let's just keep it rolling, man. Consider you a friend. Thank you so much for being on here. What does our culture mean to me? What does the Seahawks culture mean to me? Well, there's so many things, but it really comes down to like my heart being fully involved in the game for not selfish reasons. You know, like I don't want to like the Seahawks to win just so I can be right about things and go to other fan bases and troll them and be like, yeah, we won. We're the Seahawks. What I love about it is I love everything about the whole experience, the whole process of each season, each off season, the history of the team, how many people have been touched by this team in terms of like the stories of since '76, what it meant for so many parents and so many kids and so many people in the Northwest, and so much hope was given by the team by just their style, their character. We've got a class about us. The Seahawks mean so much to me. Like, I don't think I'm one of those guys that's like, yeah, I'm on the Seahawks. I'm not that guy. But for me, like, I've always loved the sport so much, and to have a team that I truly root for through rain and shine, thick and thin, I think any fan, any real fan that's not that fan that just tries to be a fan to boast and brag, but really, really loves the sport, will tell you that the Seahawks is like one of the most special places or teams in the universe. And I think the players in the NFL say that a lot too, that have played for Seattle. Like, it's like nothing else. And we're all part of it. You know what I mean? And they stress that too, whether or not that's a belief or not. That's what it is. Let's see here. Natty says, I think that's why Russ has been off. He doesn't run the ball. Well, yeah, he can't do that anymore, right? His accuracy is really off. He's hurt, and he doesn't have Tyler and DK anymore, for sure. And the pressure, like, that's the thing. You go to a big market team like that, they have way less patience for anything, especially if they paid you $250 million. Your thoughts on Paul Allen Boulevard and Avenue? Yeah, that's great. Like, give him his flowers. Paul stuck with the franchise. You know what I mean? He set it up the right way. Natty says all the hate and pressure he's getting lately, I think it's taking a toll on him, and he feels bad for sure. How would you feel, right? Like, Russ is clearly, obviously, truly like a spiritual person and really believes in what he believes in, and whether or not we think it's fake or not, he believes in that power of positive thinking, and it's worked for him. But, Father Time has no freaking enemies, you know what I mean? It knocks down anybody. Boy, am I happy to finesse the Broncos. That's a great comment, Daddy. Yeah, regardless of how I feel about all that, it feels good to finesse the Broncos out of that, because we were never going to pay Russ. So it's like, that's what I said. I understood the Seattle trading Russ. I did not think that they would get that much capital for Russell Wilson at this stage. Years-wise, oh my God, man. I started watching in about 88. Really, really seriously into it, 87, 88, like really into it. So you do the math there. Natty says Gino's supremacy undisputed. He needs to stop talking about Cooper Rush and put some respect on Gino's name. Put some respect on my name. Yeah, like if they don't put respect on Gino's name, he's just gonna keep having these huge 3 TD games, and if he ends the year with MVP numbers, it'll be crazy. What's your favorite game that sticks out to you the most? It's got to be the NFC Championship game versus the Niners, because that game was like the Niners. That Niners team was a really powerful team. You know what I mean? Like, they were more to me than that Broncos team that we thrashed ever was. So that was like, to me, the best game, because it exemplified what it is to be a Seahawk, and Sherman did that, and Russ did that. All those two players did that in that game. You just do your thing and never give up, and they didn't quit. Come on, guys, help me challenge Wes, please. But you're challenging me about games, man. I got lots of favorite Seahawks games. But that's got to be my favorite, like my favorite big moment game at least. What other games do I like a lot? There's a lot of them that I really really have dear and near to my heart, man. There's the obvious ones. We challenge expectations. That's what Seahawks do. Create magic, turn things around. Yes, the past 2 years, the magic was missing. No scorigamis, no home field advantage. We lost the action green. Yeah, bro. That's it. Is the feeling wasn't there. Like we could have kept. It's just the vibe wasn't there. I feel like we're the Seahawks again. Like I feel like when you play us, outside of not like having dominant enforcers, we still need to get the hitting going. But I feel like we are back to being a bit of an underdog and an anomaly and a team you don't want to play. Like I feel like the last 2 years, you're okay with playing the Seahawks. You know what to expect. Now you don't really know what's going down. And who are these guys I'm throwing against? You know what I mean? Natty says, like the Broncos fan was giving us hate all the comments, and I just said 43-8. That's all it was. I hit him, the OIOI guy, OAOI guy. I hit him with 43-8 as my first comment to him too, and he snapped. And man, he's been real quiet lately. We'll see if the Broncos have a winning record again. He might come back, but that's what I call a fair weather fan. Somebody who just like, my team is the best because of this, that, before anything even happens. And I'm like, trust me, I know Russell Wilson more than anyone. The way Russ is playing right now is not good. He's playing like he did when he had the hurt knees or the broken finger. You guys have an injured player right now, and he needs to be healthy to finesse those deep balls. And the guys on the other end of the deep ball are not as good as the players that he was playing with. That's the problem for you guys. But they don't want to listen. No, you don't know anything about it. You're just a Seahawks fan. Okay. Been watching football my whole life. So proud of Gino for sure. It's enough to make a grown man cry. Natty, you're absolutely right. It's freaking emotional. Daniel Zelli says, man, I was chatting and a few leftovers from previous live feed. I thought your show was over. I'm sorry, man. It was. But the YouTube crashed. So YouTube crashed and was like, report the crash if you want to. So that was interesting. Everybody loves that Packers game. That touchdown was amazing. Since I'm more of a defensive-minded guy, it had to be the tip from Sherm, and just the overall defense Seattle played in the clutch in that game to limit the Niners' field position so they couldn't just run a touchdown in. That's the more important thing about that game is like they didn't. It's not that just the play Sherm made. It's that they forced their hand to throw. Which they threw too early, but to throw and down in distance, they didn't just let them walk into the red zone. That took heart, and that was crazy. Saijin says, that's a great game too. Probably close second. Najee says, they always snap. I said, no wonder you made Daniel Zella with the 12 in the super. He says, go Hawks. I love Hawks streams, live streams, because you never see people ask many meaning, like on Brandon Nelson and them, they ask some questions, but most are just like, go Hawks! That's it. That's all we care about. So thank you so much, Daniel. That means a lot with the $12. But you're right. Those opposing fans always snap. I said, no wonder you're mad. We took y'all's ring and we beat y'all week 1, and we took your future. No wonder they hate us. Jeez. It's painful. We took everything from the Broncos. Like, what do they have left? A mile high. They got a ski slope. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Denver. But God, so proud of Gino. Nadi says, I feel like Gino's team, everyone loves him, and he's proving everyone wrong. They said he can't score, put up 30 back. I said that. No, I didn't say he couldn't put up 30 back to back. I said he couldn't close games against good defenses. And he just dropped 30 on a good D. Exactly. Wes, let me get that jacket. JK, it's fire though. Bruh, that's that Mitchell and Ness. Once again, Daniel Zalea, much love to you, brother. Real Seahawks fan. Early on the channel. Daniel, shout yourself out. Much love for the super. Saijin says the ending with Curse flawless. It was a perfect pass to Curse, and it was really breadbasket. And it was, as soon as he let it go, you almost knew that it was... Oh, here's the booth review of the DK fumble, which was absolute garbage. Let me see it again. I'm watching this angle. Oh my God, his elbow is clearly down, and he has full possession of the ball in his left hand. Can't stand New Orleans games. Um, Maybe I'll do it as a giveaway some way, though. Someday, I don't know, Anthony. That thing's real to me, bro. Saijin says, and he recurs, yeah. So Yannick says, I don't know what my favorite game is, but my favorite after game is sure after the Broncos this year. Seahawks legend Twitter was gold. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't troll enough after the game. I was too excited. I think I went for a walk. How about the fumble, Olave? Yeah, exactly. Romo was like, okay, so let's take someone to cornerback school, get up in the guy. It's a shared possession once that ball is touched. He doesn't even have 2 feet down in the end zone, and then you have Kobe strip it out. That's not a completed catch, like by the rule. Like what is going on in that game? It was almost too obvious and fishy for me. You know what I mean? Garbage. Um, was not a DK's was not a fumble, and Olave's was not a catch. Specifically as a Seahawks fan. Gino showed us he can torch a good defense, and he's finally getting the ball to DK and Tyler. It makes me sad. It's so beautiful. It's like those memes. It's like, why are they crying? It's just so beautiful. Yes, and let's get back to the tight ends here against Buda Baker and them, who are good guys and they can hit. But they have a smaller secondary. They're not big boys. So I like Fant in this game. I like DK in this game. I think we can beat the Cardinals. Like, we just got to limit the run. Weird. Yeah, that's crazy. So that game with that was a great game too. That Green Bay game, obviously, as a Seahawks fan, is one of the best games. But there's some real sleepers out there, man. There's some real sleepers out there, and I think should do a whole video on just which are the most underrated Seahawks games in history. You know, there's a lot of them. I went to a few crazy ones. One that I really liked was Seattle. There was Dallas versus Seattle. Man, I can't even tell you the year. But Golden Tate crack blocked Sean Lee, I think, in the open field, and just erased him. Like the sound from that hit. I was in 127 during that game. I was in section 127 during that game, and today that'd probably be called a crackback block, but it was a clean block in the era, and that game was crazy. Romo was good still, and we were in full effect. What's up, CG Ruthless Sports Network? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. That's the homie with the Niners stream over there. Yeah, we are here. We're just talking about classic games, like kind of underrated games. I got the Saints and Seahawks game on PVR right now, watching them pretend that this DK Metcalf thing is a fumble or something. Funny stuff. But everybody gets their calls. That's not the only. None of us are trying to say that's the main reason we lost this game. We can't stop the run to save our lives. You know, Cody Barton is a special teams player that we have playing, basically outside linebacker. So there's some issues there. This guy says, I tried to reach out on Instagram. 49ers played against the Seahawks. We got to collaborate. Hey, man, we could still do it, bro. We could still do it. We could definitely still do a video, man. It's all good. I love what you're doing, man, and I love the NFC West thing. I've tapped into that thing a couple times. Very well done. But, yeah, we can still collab. And we got another game coming up, too, right? That's like the 15th. So we could even do it then, bro. Whatever's clever. But your defense looks incredible. You know, this is coming from people who are not trying to give any props to the Niners. But the defense looks incredible. It was heartbreaking to see Trey go down in the sense that, like, you just want that guy to make it because he's a good dude. But, yeah, I think for now the team, we feel your team is more dangerous now with Jimmy. But as my Niners friends say, like, at the end of the day, Jimmy can kind of just fail you. So that's the fear. But the defense definitely looks top 2 at least. So what else we got here? Or says, after Russ, number 1 will be traded again. No, we're not going to trade for these crazy guys. Reuben Foster, I like. Emmanuel Ellerby. Yeah, there's some linebackers out there that I could see. Maybe another safety. But I think we're just going to keep going through the draft here, mostly. He says, yeah, we play great defense. Just injuries suck. We lost our starting quarterback. Yeah, I saw all that, man. That was brutal. Some of my best friends are Niners fans, and we talk football all the time. So Mosley going out, that's terrible. He's playing great, playing out of his mind, and a good a big receiving defender. Like Mosley can guard big players. I know Ward broke his finger. I know he hadn't been playing much, but for Jimmy to go out like that really kind of sucks because he brings a lot of tenacity to the secondary. Obviously, you guys had other issues. Bosa with the groin, but obviously that's not too threatening. Maybe a week or two, but it always hurts. Like Lenore and Verrett, like Lenore, I don't trust at all. Verrett, I do think is still good, but even aging and might have trouble now against speed guys. But like, there's way worse that you could be falling back on for sure. We lost Penny for the season. That was painful for us. That was tough. What else happened for you guys? Drake Jackson, I like him. I watched a lot of his 22 and stuff, and like he's really like underrated. I think you stole him at his draft position, but Bosa just does something different off of the edges, like obviously. But Bosa's not going to be out for a long time. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Like these injuries, man, it's crazy how you have those one game where like two or three guys will go out at once. Everything just changes in like two or three plays sometimes. It's just like the league is so cutthroat now. But I mean, he's still strong at running back. Like Niners, they definitely look like the strongest team in the division now. Like the Rams, I hate to say it, like Cup is an enigma in receiving, but like the Rams just don't look very good, man. And I don't know if they can put it together. I think Stafford is hurt. I'm sure you guys have talked about this on that NFC West thing. Yeah, have me on that if you want. TJ Roos said Drake Jackson will step up. Yeah, he will. We talked about that. Go ahead and keep the party going, dog. Saijan says we got this depth. It got that 2019 vibe. Kinda, yeah. There's something missing about this year's Niners. Like I love the team's like balance and diversity, but there's something missing in the locker room and with the connectivity between Shanahan and the rest of the team there. That's just what my observation is. Um, Jimmy G is getting older. Yeah, they're going to do something over there at QB for sure, even with Lance not having his, being young. Tariq Woolen is nuts. 3 picks in 5 games. Absolutely insane. Dude's going to send Tariq he's sending wide receivers to Tariq. Yeah. Like Tariq is the avatar, man. He's doing his thing. He had the most amazing combine measurables for any like corner ever, the spark ever for a DB. And for that to translate this early in the season, the only way that you can do that is if you have like the demigods of cornerback coaching and secondary coaching in your midst, and you do. You have Pete Carroll, you have Carl Scott there, Sean Desai is really good. You have Richard Sherman coming in to talk to people. This is obviously the perfect situation for Tariq. What do you guys, CJ Ruthless, what do you guys think about Tariq Woolen? Like, is there any buzz about Tariq in the Niners community, in the SF world? Does anybody like even rate him yet or have him up there? That's not a facetious question. I'm just wondering what the buzz is around like the other networks here around Woolen, and if people are like, damn, this kid's going off or not. Like we feel like Haufunga, yeah, like that's how I feel. Like he's that guy that I wish that we had spotted. Just a downhill, just menace. So Sajin has an NS. Ain't gonna lie, Woolen is a steal. Yeah, for sure, man. Hit up Squad Boy Besoyas and I'll give him a word. Need to ask a question on the real. Sajid says the NFL grown soft. Only serious inquiries need to respond. Definitely. Grug says CJ and Haufunga is a steal for you guys. It's referring to the Niners picks. CG and Haufunga. It's going to be a fun rivalry for the next several years. Reminds me of Steelers and Ravens with Palomalu and Reed. That's really a good point. And yeah, maybe we can get back to that because as of recently, the rivalry hasn't really been the same kind of vibes. Appreciate the respect on my Hawks dog. That's love there. CJ Ruthless says, yup, I like him as a third-round talent. Was high on him. Awesome. Do you want to? Daniel W says, do you want to see a switch back to a 4-3? Or should we tough it out? No, we need to switch it up now because we don't have the personnel to run that front. So we need to go back to more cover 2, cover 3, more dime, more like diverse side to side stuff. Daniel W, you are absolutely correct on that. CJ Ruthless Sports Network. I like his height and speed. Need to work on his technique. He work in progress. He will improve just the holding. Holding is garbage, but yeah, I'll take that. I have Tariq Woolen is rated out as a top 5 QB in the NFL right now. When you take impact plays into account, he's made some of the most dynamic plays in the league. He's getting his hips around now. You are correct. His technique is getting better. He's super young. Yeah, he's learning how to get less handsy. If he gets less handsy, you're absolutely right. He could just, be right up there with Surtaining them. I'm already in love with Woolen. He can teleport. Yeah, he's just so fast. I think next, and he has good hands because he was a receiver. I think next year we should get better personnel and run the 3-4. I'm not sure. I know we're going to be drafting a lot of defense. That's for sure. 4-3 on first down, and second downs we go to 3-4 on third passing downs. Or says, interesting. We got to mix it up a lot more in any event. In one of Clint's earlier press conferences, Clint alluded to the fact that he thinks perhaps that it's not like about necessarily as much about 3-4, 4-3 is about fitting. I just don't think they have the players to fit any of the labeled schemes. Don't let the Rams repeat, please. Jen says the Ruthless Sports. I'm not already going out there and saying that it's going to be like this so early in the season. Let's just see what happens, period. Niners are up front there. The Rams still have Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp. I get it. But we don't really know what's going to happen just yet. You have to think we're a bit far behind with the run stop to be able to, be in 1-2. Maybe we sneak a wild card. We'll see how that goes. But chill, man. The Niners got a lot of work to do, too. They're a dope team, but they have a lot of work to do, too, in certain areas. But they're deeper than usual. But, we'll see what goes on there. Kyle just has to make decisions that aren't so ludicrous sometimes in terms of, I know you can't be at fault for some of those injuries in those positions, but it's just some of the stuff just makes me go, but I don't know. I'm not on the same vibe, right? I get it. My thoughts on Cam Ward, I think he could run our offense really well, sitting beside Gino for a year. I really like Cam Ward. He's up there in my top 10 for sure for who we would draft in this class. Cam Ward, KJ Jefferson, I like those as kind of later selections. Anthony Richardson. Cam Ward probably a better, actually could run an offense better than a lot of those guys, though. So I hear you on Cam Ward for a guy who can actually step up in the pocket, make plays, and complement this kind of, offense, quick hit offense with some deep shots. Anthony Armstrong. Go check out Cam Ward's highlight reel tonight, guys. He's really good. Anthony Armstrong. Seahawks are the biggest sleeper in the NFL, in my opinion, but they are missing the elements of now that the quarterback is better than anyone thought that he would be. That element of surprise is kind of out of the bag per se, but the defense, if the defense will have to become a top 18 kind of level, but they could upset teams. You don't want to play the Seahawks necessarily because they can put up a lot of points. If you have a running game, you thinking, I'm not afraid to play them. But if that somehow that switch kind of turns, and we've seen it over and over with Seahawks defenses, they just get the personnel in, and then bing, all of a sudden they kind of click. But it looks far off than usual for this year. Yeah, he said you ain't lying, bro. You kind of unpredictable. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I am still high on Levis. What up, yo? You're thrilling me with the positive commentary. I'm just telling it like it is, right? I'm positive because for years we've kind of been missing on the draft and only hitting in certain spots, getting dynamic player here, really great player there, but this draft is you roll all the dice to the whole NFL. You let go of what everybody knows about the Seattle Seahawks, other than the coach, and then you come back with this draft, and this draft, it's not just feel better about yourself. You like your draft. We got really lucky. We really hit the lotto with a few of these guys, and it's taken a few games, but the rest of the NFL is noticing now. Charles Cross, he's really good. Abraham Lucas, he's freaking phenomenal. He's probably one of the best right tackles graded in the NFL right now. Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant playing very well. That's 4 guys right there. And we drafted other players that are having impact immediately. Boye Mafe, underrated. He had a great Senior Bowl. He was tearing up tackles in the Senior Bowl. And then he comes in, he's getting his feet behind him right now, but he's going to be our best run-stopping edge guy right out of the gate. We still haven't seen Tyreek Smith, Bo Melton, Derek Young. All those guys can ball in the NFL. So since we had that draft, if we can do that again, or even 60% of this draft, if we can get that at positions of need next season, whew, then I really, really like what it was done. And then I will really, really think it was positive. All of the Geno madness aside and Geno mania aside. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Little things like getting Ken Walker. Like getting Ken Walker was only not a big deal until, Penny loses his shin. You know what I mean? Like now that becomes a brilliant play. Anyways, exciting draft for sure for us. Guys are getting into it here. That's really cool. Let's draft Cam Ward. So, yeah, we've gotten to Cam Ward. I like the idea of him. I really like him, too. P.J. Walker to the Niners is now a starter over Baker Mayfield. Yeah, like, P.J. Walker was never that bad. C.J. Ruthless says, Shanahan play calling can be too cute. He's trying to run plays that sometimes don't work. It's unpredictable. So that's what he was referring to. Yes, but for all of that, Shanahan's play calling can be brilliant at times, too, and just be really, really tough to defend. So it's like, you take the good with the bad, but it seems like at the end of the big games, we just noticed it's like, Kyle, like, why do you put your foot on the brake there? Like, just go for it. That is what it is. Greg, at this rate, I think us and the Broncos go 5 to 12 top 5 picks. I don't know. Like, I think we're gonna maybe finish with a better record than the Broncos, as insane as that is. So the Broncos could be a bottom 10 team for sure, though, if Russ can't get healthy. Imagine we still had DJ Reed. Yeah, I mean, but it's someone we should have kept, but at the same time, you got to pay big money. We're in a different kind of phase right now. I don't know. Cam Ward and Penix Jr. are good to take in a later draft. Cam Ward earlier than Penix to me. Penix still got some work to do, but yeah, if you're going to do it late, you're going to get defense earlier. Sure. Nathan West says Cross looks good. I'd argue his ceiling is lower than Lucas's floor at this point. I don't know. Like, it's just like Charles Cross's position is so hard. Like left tackle to be dominant, you see a lot of the best left tackles in the NFL, Trent Williams, those types of players, who all Niners fans will be familiar with. They really come into their own a little bit later than other players. You have to have, that's like grown man stuff. Like Charles Cross is a huge guy, but he's only like 21, 22 years old. You know what I mean? When he's like 26, 25 years old, like, man, he's going to be a mountain out there. But Lucas at right was way more pro-ready for sure. But Cross is looking great too. So I'm really excited about that. Reed had a crazy pick a couple weeks back. Yeah, Reed is nice. That's my guy. Niners let him go, and then we picked him up, and he balled out for a while. How beautiful was Walker's run, though? It's great. Like, he did the jump cut a little bit, not as smooth as he could have. But, yeah, he's, like we said, if he gets the jitters out of his running and he starts, making the cuts and realize how much space he actually has between these people, he's going to become a really marquee rusher. That's why we drafted him, right, for this moment. Sajan says, Wes, I know guys are more into sports, but how much more are we neglecting our families? Women are becoming more and more involved nowadays. I find that so attractive. Or is it just at my house? Yeah, like my wife always supports Seahawks, like supports me in it, is not as crazy involved in it as I am in it. But at the same time, like, yeah, like it's always nice to be supported. I don't know if it's a male or female thing as much as it's just like when you're a fanatic for football, like regardless, like it does have an effect on your family. Yannick Perez says, honestly believe we got our magic back this year and we will continue surprising this. The magic is back for sure. Whether other fans see that or not is totally valid. You don't have to see it, but what we talk about is like we might freak out and just get a pick six out of nowhere now with this team or pop a ball out and make something random happen. We haven't been seeing that for a couple years now. That's what we're referring to there, the magic. Or Geno Smith having like being the best quarterback in the NFL. That's kind of magic. Chill. That was too far. Women being into sports is so attractive. I'm so into Tom. Like whatever, man. Whatever works for you, fam. It's all gravy. For sure. Like if my girl's into the game, I'm like, yes. I honestly, the whole Geno thing kind of shows there's a lot of guys labeled bust. Yeah, it's about opportunity. Daniel W. comment that put us there and elsewhere and been elsewhere. I'm trying to read this small monitor. Yeah, they could have been something. So a ton of players could have been something. A lot of circumstance takes into effect in the NFL, and it's tough. It's a tough sport, a sport where you need your chance, you need your crack. at the can, and if you don't get it, um, it may never happen again. And Gino's one of those guys that was so patient, was like, if I just chill here, and then he must have known that and seen the locker room stuff and been like, man, I might get a shot here. Brilliantly played by Smith, and now he's playing out of his mind on the field. Really cool story. I love his game, but did he get a bag? So happy we moved on from DJ. Yeah, like I love, but he got his bag, and it is what it is. Um, Shout out to DJ Reed. That's my guy. If we have two high picks next year, which we will, I really want to trade back for one of. I want 6 picks in the front 2 rounds instead of 4. I think that'll help us rebuild. Yeah, and with the amount of diversity in the first 2 rounds, you can definitely do that, and we might get back to business that way. But best player available really worked in this last draft here. Women being in sports is so attractive. That's what he said. What do we need to do about the defense, my guy? Frustrated Incorporated. That's our new business. We've just signed on. Frustration Inc. It's like no relation to Ja Rule's and Irv Gotti's Murder Inc. It's Frustration Incorporated, the label. So we need to just like realize that Barton cannot be running down to an edge that Daryl Taylor is not setting and be able to tackle people. Like, get guys out there to just corner the edges off and force these guys and get the cornerbacks more involved in coming up and tackling and stuff like that, like Rick used to do in those guys. Because ultimately, like I said, teams scoring on you in the air and throwing for huge yardage and stuff, like that sucks and everything. But getting run on is a different type of demoralization. So let's get to business there. Give the people the chances they need to, that get the chances on the field to make a difference, and the positions that they need to be, and get out there and stop the run. PJ Walker is like Geno Smith. He's one of those guys. Like, the few times I watched PJ Walker play, I'm like, god dang, like this boy is super good. Like, he makes the occasional weird decision, but so did dudes like PJ Walker has more talent to me than like Tyrod Taylor type of guy. Maybe not as much of like a magical scenario as Geno, but who knows? He's definitely probably better than some people starting, maybe. That's how I feel about it. Kai Nalu, what's going on? Yep, stop the run, man. So let's look at one of those linebackers in the draft. I'm going to do a video on linebackers in the draft coming up here. There's some obvious people that a few mentioned earlier in the stream. Yeah, but I mean, we need to draft some. We need to draft some too. We can't just pay. But yeah, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. If I was to lay it all in the line for like a drafted QB or like in the league right now, that's a good question. PJ Walker is not on Geno's level. I think Geno had 6. Yeah, but PJ Walker is super young, right? Like Geno Smith, Geno Smith at PJ Walker's age was being ran out of the league. They said, unjustifiably so. Looks like. Any QB in the league right now, I guess, would be a healthy Josh Allen or something. But in the draft, we'll see. I've got a video on. I'm going to do a 2.0 video on that and who I think my new QB rankings are for top 5 that Seattle should draft, because things have changed with Smith playing well. You might be able to take a later pick, so I'll look at some later guys. Cooking at Geno. Who's your preferred QB and also defensive position you would like us to draft in the first? The defensive position to me in the first round, I'm going to have to go with something on the line still. Like, I would like a dominant defensive tackle or someone who can really set the edge, Like, I think we really need that. Outside of that, yeah, I like Sewell and those guys. I don't know if you need to go that early for that type of player, though. So, it depends how it falls. But we need a safety still. We need linebackers. We need like a Darius Leonard type guy. That's what I would like the most. Like, a Mafe can be really chasing people down with Daryl and that kind of thing, and an edge setter, and then like a Darius Leonard type of guy. And that will just free up everything. What's your take on Bruce coming back? Love Bruce Irvin as a true Seahawk. If you spoke this already, my bad. Connection here in Maui Valley is spotty. Shoutouts Maui. Shoutouts whole upcountry. If that's what you're talking about. Like Kakula and all that. And Haiku. But yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, I think that Bruce Irvin is going to be a good veteran presence for us in the locker room. He's going to come out there. He's going to coach up the young players and be able to relay Pete and Clint's message of toughness and tenacity at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. Bruce Irvin, I don't even not necessarily undersized, a strong guy, but not a huge guy, was really really good and can probably work with Darryl Taylor the best at teaching DT, like what he can do at that size and what angles to take in pursuit. Um, yeah, Micah Parsons, the best defensive player in the league. Um, Brian Dees, Anthony Robles says we need Micah Parsons. That type of player, yeah. I'll settle for a Darius Leonard type though. Any collabs coming, Hawks Nest or Brandon Nelson? I haven't reached out to those gentlemen yet. I don't know if they would do a collaboration with me. Maybe suggest it to them. Those guys are veterans at this stuff, but I love their content. I'd be happy to reach out and speak with them, or do either of those guys' stuff. They do great stuff there. I was thinking of doing one with Steezy A. Smith, that kind of thing. Aurora says get Mayo. Mayo was okay last year. We kind of miss him with Bruce Irvin. Yeah, he's saying go back to the old school guys, two vet safeties. Yeah, yeah. You know what? We could kind of maybe work the back half of the season a little differently as we come into to get week 7 here. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. I think Irvin is like at 35. You know, you're not going to put him out there every down, but he probably could have enough juice to come in because he's still playing good in Carolina, like before he left. So he could come in and maybe just help set the edge just a little bit, free up things. It hurts about the Mariners there. I'm not a Mariners fan, by the way. I'll try to get in the word and mention your name in the comments. It's all good, man. With time, that stuff will come, right? Roger that. Pressure and teach up. Yeah, man. Exactly. Get some pressure, teach them, bring that the Seahawks tenacity that they have to respect. I'm only gonna do a couple more minutes here. How do I really feel about Locke? I really like Drew Lock. Like, I think Drew Lock is a super talented QB. Gino just went crazy. That's what happened here. Dodgers won. I can't stand the Dodgers, bro. But okay, shout outs to you. I can't even talk about my baseball team because it's the Padres, man. I don't even want to get into the story. Everything else is Huskies, Seahawks, What's your guys' prediction, man? Like, what do you guys think is going to happen in this next game? We've got do you think here before I sign off? What is the prediction in this game? I'm talking about Arizona, Seattle. Yeah, Levis could be cool, but we probably have to go higher for Levis. I love his game though. Like, he can really sling. I don't care about the picks. He'll figure that out. He has no weapons. He's got like one kid that's pretty nice, but he was throwing to like a 5'5" dude who's in the NFL now, playing well a little bit. But I think we take the Cards with a split. Yeah, I like it too. Like, let's go with Seattle, toning down the speed of the offense a little bit, but like 31 to 10 Seattle. The Seahawks defense. 31 to 13. The Seahawks defense finally figures something out, and the receivers they're just no help to Murray in this game. Okay, as much as they try to run, Seattle clouds things, and they just can't move the ball very well. That's my guess. Yeah, well, Levis would look really good in Seattle for sure. Behind a good O-line, he has a crap O-line in Kentucky. Like his line is so bad. But that's Kentucky. It's that's not capital for dominant all pro O-lines, but they got some good players out of there. I'm not saying they're all trash. It's just hard in that division when that's not what you do, right? I think we got against Arizona. Daniel Zalea, my guy, says Hawks need to get right type of game, and they need to show up. Yeah. So I think if they just play the way they've been playing, they'll win. Yeah. Containing people running QBs has been easier said than done. But Murray's a different kind of runner. I don't think he's trying to run into as much danger as these other quarterbacks have. And like the throwing, like Rondell Moore is a good player for sure. But I think we face definitely more threatening downfield stuff. Yeah, if Lucas just kind of, if Watt's going to try to school Lucas, or if Lucas just kind of owns him on youth and power, like that'll be a telltale sign. But look for Ken Walker to go just ballistic in this game. You know, what tape do you have on Ken? You know, Ken's not weak either. Maybe we can bring back KJ. Everyone's trying to say bring back KJ. KJ's out on like making food with his family. He's just chilling. And he's not trying to get back in there. All right, I had fun on these two streams. I got to get this night back together here. I'm really tired, but I had a really awesome time. You guys are super dope. Thank you for tapping in. You know, I really appreciate it. We got even bots coming in here now. Like, take it easy, guys. No, I'll be back on here soon. But much love to you guys, and make sure to peep the last videos, and make sure to tell your friends about the channel. We got a Patreon going. If you link to all the Patreon is in the descriptions if you want to join the Patreon. But if you just want to keep dropping knowledge in the comments and all the videos, it's super, super helpful. But yeah, I really love it, guys. Much love and peace. Respect. You guys have a great night. Peace. And go, huh? Yeah, when the bots entered, the bots have entered the chat.